And welcome back to another fish room video. It sort of occurred to me that, yeah, I've been breeding fish for over 40 years now, so I thought I would do a little tour of all the little baby fish, what I've currently been spawning, growing up, how the system is working, which was in my last fish room video, which is working good by the way, and yeah, what baby fish we have and so on and so on. Obviously my fish room is private, it is just under my house, and there is a lot of fish, breeding pretty much every different fish imaginable, from bircher to guppies. Nothing marine at the moment. I do want to get back into breeding damsels and a few clownfish and stuff, but yeah, that's a whole other thing, and I need to bend time a little bit better for that. How cool is that tetra? Yeah, so we're going to go through what we have currently spawned, and just exciting stuff. We have actually spawned our Hoplo catfish, and we've got eggs about to hatch. And they may have actually hatched already, I haven't checked this morning. But anyway, let's start, and maybe let's go for the Tanganyikans. So if you've seen any of my other videos, I've been collecting Tanganyikan cichlids again for probably only the last 6 months or so, maybe a little bit longer. But my Neolamprologus, and if we zoom in, there is a lovely girl there. She currently has eggs. Now this is kind of weird because I have one girl, there's the boy there, and there's the girl above her, him, there's a him. So those are not a pair, even though he's kind of friendly with her. So, but that is the mum, and those little specks, if we can focus, there they are their eggs. So they haven't started wiggling, they're about a day or two old now. I noticed them yesterday, but I'm pretty sure they spawned the day before. Now, this is weird behavior for these fish. I'm sure everything I've read, and I've never bred these fish before, they lay in like a little cave or something like that. Sort of like the Cylindricus, which are those stripy dudes at the back. They will lay inside a cave like that, or like that, where that one's sticking his little snout out. How cool is he? There's his missus there. I haven't seen any of their fry, but these should lay the same. And there is spare caves over there, but they've just decided to dig a little pit and lay their eggs. So my plan with these, if they do survive the next few days, is to, once they start wiggling, just put them into a little breeder box or something and start babying them. And yeah, hopefully I will have some of those, because they are super, super cool fish. I'm getting chased by one of the Cylindricus. If you haven't seen these before, these are a high pH Tanganyikan fish. Lake Tanganyikan is in Africa. And yeah, their water is pretty much between 8.5 and 9.5, so extremely alkaline, very pretty little fish. That's about their adult size, which is tiny. There's my hand there. They're probably 6 centimeters at the most. Maybe they get to about 8 centimeters, but that is it. Very, very cool little fish. Not a common fish that people want because they're a little bit specialized, but you can keep them with lots of other cool Tanganyikan fish. Like the I was going to say like the Lulupi. I don't have any Lulupi. Lulupi are like a yellow version of the Cylindricus, which are the blue stripy ones. And there's my little Leposoma. I did lose one Leposoma, so I'm down to 4. And it looks like 2 boys and 1 girl. Possibly. Oh, yeah, looking at them now, that's a boy, that's a boy. That is definitely a girl, that. These are otherwise called sardine cichlids. It might be 3 boys and 1 girl. I need to get some more of those, but they're not a cheap fish. They're like $60 for a little tiny baby, but super, super awesome. Anyway, that is the first tank. I have started doing stuff that I said I would never, ever do. I know. And that is breeding brine shrimp. Why am I breeding brine shrimp? Or hatching brine shrimp. I'm not breeding it. Why am I hatching brine shrimp is because some of the little delicate fish, like the Hoplo catfish, I'm not entirely sure, because I've never bred them before, whether or not they're going to eat the deshelled brine shrimp that I feed everything. So I thought, well, I will baby them because they are a cool fish. There is one of the girls there in the log. I should probably put some food in there. Where is my food? Okay, this is completely unscripted, as you know, because I don't script any of my videos. And I've been conditioning them on this stuff anyway, which is Vitalis tropical pellets. And if you haven't seen Vitalis before, it is an awesome food. It's like a soft crumble Made in the UK, it is a really nice, easy fish food to feed them. And it just slowly sinks like that. And once they smell it in the water, oh, there's the big male there. There's one of the girls at the back munching away. How cool is he? Yeah. So they've just been conditioning on that. He has just started building another bubble nest. If you've seen any of my other videos, there's the girls going crazy with the food. It is an awesome food, by the way. Down here, I have the first batch of eggs. Okay, can we zoom in? Oh, look. They're almost looking like fish. You're going, no, they're not. They're just little tiny black mess. But they are probably about, focus, probably about 3 days old, 4 days old, and they're just about ready to come off that, go to the bottom, and then we'll start feeding them. So I'm going to try them on newly hatched baby brine shrimp to start with, and that is what is in here. Yeah, I've just got the simplest method of pretty much growing brine shrimp. You get your little pipette, that's your baby brine shrimp, stick it in a cup, repeat a few times. I'm not going to feed those catfish yet because obviously the catfish haven't even hatched. Stick the air stone back in there. Anything from like 20 to 30 degrees Celsius, salt water with eggs, they're going to hatch. That is your baby brine shrimp. Doesn't matter if you put a little bit of salt in the water, that is not going to kill anything. You'd have to have the most delicate fish in the world to die of a little bit of salt. And then that just goes down with a fryer. And these are angelfish. And yeah, they've already got little tiny orange bellies from munching away at it. And the brine shrimp's going to survive in the tank for probably an hour or two before it starts to hate life because it's not in salt water. But that is as simple as that is. Obviously, I don't usually feed angelfish live baby brine shrimp. And I probably should show everyone every time I do a video because I bet I've chucked it away. No, I haven't chucked it away. That is the stuff that I usually feed all the baby fish, which is just the deshelled brine shrimp, which you don't have to do anything with. You put it in a cup with a little bit of water, soak it, and away you go, which I probably should do now because I'm never organized to do that. Put some water in a cup. Now I have to find where on earth I put it. Oh, there it is. Yeah, of course I've got it in a black pellet container. Oh, try doing this with one hand early morning, which is what we're going to do. That's what it looks like. Oh, are we going to knock it all over the floor? There we go. And it will just soak into the water. And you can give it a bit of a stir around and stuff. Just make sure you put your lid back on your container, otherwise something will get in it and eat it. Where is my pipette? There it is. All one hand. Okay, we're going to let that soak for like about a minute or two because all those little tiny, that's deshelled brine shrimp. So it's the little tiny brine shrimp before it hatches out of the egg, and you want it to absorb water so it's nice and soft for the fry to eat. And then we're just going to squirt it with a whole lot of baby fish, which we've got around the other side. So we'll do that soon. What else am I breeding? Oh, well, let's have an update on these guys and girls. Look at them. Okay, those are red devils. They were in, I think, my video 2 or 3 videos back. Starting to kind of look like cichlids. What am I doing with so many red devils? Well, I have an aquarium shop, so they're going into the aquarium shop so people can have super cool fish. These will get huge and they go a nice orangey red color. Yeah, that's why they're called red devils, because they're angry big fish. Very cool fish though. But I have that group of fry there. And if we grab our brine shrimp, come over here. This rack, if you've seen my last video with the fish room tour, well, setup sort of thing, this is a whole lot of tubs connected to a sump at the back, and I've actually modified the sump, which I think I said I was going to do in the last video. That's about all I've done. I do have fry in these top tanks, but I don't even have these top tanks connected because way too much fry, nowhere to put them, but that's what happens when you breed lots of fish. So these guys and girls, and I'm looking at them now trying to figure out what on earth they are. Oh, that's right. These are more, yes, they are red devils. Why have I got so many red devils? Well, I'm kind of in that saving every fish mode sort of thing. So another spawn of red devils in there. These are super green Texas, and if you've ever seen me at the shop, you know we have lots and lots of super green Texas because we've had a pair that just non-stop spawns this time of year. So we do save a lot of them, and I have a heap of tanks of them around the other side as well, which I may show you in this video. Super boring fish in this tank. We have some little convicts, so albino and common convicts, but again, they're a cool first fish for a lot of people, or just a cool hardy fish if you want a cool little cichlid. In this tank, oh, can we even focus? Probably not. See those little specks at the top, and I'll try and put some footage on the screen. These are some of the pearl gouramis, and there are so many pearl gouramis that I had to actually split them up from the tub, put some of them in here, which is probably only about 100 or so in here. There's got to be at least 500, 1,000 of the things. There are so many. So hopefully they're all going to survive because pearl gouramis are an awesome, awesome fish. Yeah, so I've just put a few there so I can judge how fast they're growing because I can't really see them in the tubs, and we will show you the tubs. What I should do is get some of that. And this is how you feed it. You just do a couple of squirts like that. It will just slowly sink to the bottom, and then the fish are going to peck it. There they all go. That is how easy it is to feed baby fish with this stuff. So if you've got super small, delicate fish, obviously you want to feed them on micro worms or like a powdered food to start with. And then you can sort of get them onto this stuff about a week or so later. And even if they don't like this stuff, you can give them baby brine shrimp that's hatched for the first couple of days, and then you can convert them to this stuff. And it's so much easier than stuffing around trying to hatch brine shrimp eggs. A lot of fish will just take this straight away. Like none of these fish have ever seen live brine shrimp, and they don't have to. But just a little cloud of it like that. Main thing you want to do is not overfeed, because if they don't eat all that food, it's going to decompose and mess your water quality up. Same as any food, but yeah, you can see them nibbling away at it there. And once they get a taste for it, they go crazy. So my cleanup crew in these tanks, which is only one sponge filter by the way, is a whole lot of snails, not a whole heap, but snails are actually super, super awesome scavengers. And I've got like a little bristlenose in each one. I just need to put some logs in there because I only put the bristlenose in yesterday. But let's have a look at the other side of this. Oh, I should probably turn my temperature on to see what temperature we are. Let's turn that on. Okay, this is the back end of it now. So I have added another tub, which I think I said I was going to do in that video. And all it is drilled a hole, PVC pipe, so I've got extra water. So the problem was with one of these tubs, and I think the tubs are only like about 100 litres or so, I think 115 litres, it would drain too much water out. So now I've got double, not a problem. And I can join more stuff up, which I need to join up this top row of tanks, which is just another PVC piece of pipe going straight down to the sump. A little T-piece onto this intake, or outtake at the pump, up the top, and then just let the water trickle through. So with fry like this, to stop them going through the little strainers, and that's a little strainer up there, piece of big thick sponge down there, and where is my big thick sponge? It's probably underneath. Yeah, it's under the hose, because that's a sensible place to put your big thick sponge. That stuff there, obviously that's an old piece of sponge, but if you cut that down to fit the tank at the back, that is an awesome barrier for fry, and it's going to give you extra filtration. And you just stick it like that. You can either just make a little frame out of glass or whatever you want to make a frame out of, plastic, PVC, whatever, and just slot it down. That is technically going to just press in place. Water drips in, goes through the sponge, and then overflows. So that will be in one of my next videos sometime. You just have to get organized. But a lot of fry like this in one of these little tanks, it's not going to work long term without water dripping through into a bigger system. And now we've got our temperature. 23 degrees, so it's a little bit colder than it was, but we had a stupid big storm yesterday. Water everywhere, complete nightmare, but it is what it is. So nothing in these tubs yet because I still need to hook up more sponge filters to them, and I haven't had 5 minutes. But when I do, I'm just moving more fish into them, obviously. So, okay, more baby fish, a lot of Malawi cichlids. My electric yellows are starting to look like electric yellows. They're the ones with the black on them. There are some Alunacara, there's some albino blue dolphins, a few other random bits and pieces. I think we can kind of see some rostratas in with some more Alunacara in the bottom, but these guys and girls have just sort of absorbed their egg yolks. They're just starting to do their fry stuff. This setup is pretty simple. There is a canister filter at the back, sucking the water from the bottom up to the top, going through the overflows back into that. How pretty is that Alunacara? That is the dad of those guys and girls up the top. He's an awesome fish. And there's his, girlfriends, etc., etc. That whole system is a complete mess. I kind of want to put a bigger rack here with bigger tanks because I do have a couple of stands that'll hold 3x2s, but that's sort of going to bring it out a little bit too close. But it may work. Sure, it'll work. Yeah, we're sort of running out of room in this area, but these stupid plants in the way sort of don't help. But yeah, this is a bit of a nightmare. We've got boys up the top, of assorted things, more assorted Malawis. Oh, she's actually got a mouthful of eggs. That's one of the blue dolphins, or the albino blue dolphin. So they're mouth brooders, so we're going to leave the eggs in her mouth for a little while, probably about a week or two. Full term is about 4 weeks, and then we're just going to take them out and pop them in one of the tanks, just in case she releases them early and then the other ones completely wipe them out. But very, very cool Malawi cichlids. Down the bottom, rostratas are right in the corner. And there's a few other random Dimbiachromis. They're not the Malawi eye biters, they're a number Dimbiachromis. Starts with S, Stuart something something. I have not done anything with Mr. Groper. I know, he's getting very big, isn't he? Such a cool fish. Haven't been bitten by him yet either. It's too early to feed you. It's very early morning. But this system here, the back of this, everything is working fine, and I haven't hooked up another sump. It's not evaporating too much water, and everything is working great on it, so I'm just leaving it alone. I've got some, what have I got in this tub now? I've got some female fighters. They came in a little bit dodgy, so we're just babying them. I'll probably end up spawning them because, that's what we do. Which brings us to these two tubs, which if you've seen the last couple of videos, these are lots and lots of gouramis. There are tons in there. So I'll see if I can put some footage on the screen. If not, there's tons in there. I'm going to have to separate a lot of them soon because there's so many. And to breed gouramis in tubs, I've just done it again here. There is a bubble nest. So the male gourami builds a nest of bubbles, spawns with the female, and then chases her off. So you have to take the female out. The male is in here somewhere. And I don't know if we can even see any fry, but there will be tons of fry. He'll tend to the fry for about 2 weeks or so. Generally, he was not going to eat them unless he's spooked. And this is just a simple tub setup. You want your temperature between 24 and 28 degrees. pH low, so I run it about 6.2 or so to spawn them. And TDS is pretty low too, I think like 30 parts per million or so. So mostly a mix of RO and tap water to give you an idea. I don't know if anyone wants any detailed videos on how to breed gouramis. They are not a hard fish to breed. Oh, and I better turn my RO off on this because I've been filling this all night. Let me turn that off. Yeah, way too much RO water, and that's just balancing on one of these milk crate things. Lucky that didn't collapse overnight, but I'll just take some of that water out, mix a little bit of tap water, check the TDS, settle it down. We don't even use filters for gouramis because they breathe through the surface. Once they're in the tanks, obviously we filter them because otherwise, it's just not going to work with that many fish. But yeah, gouramis, It's a good time of year to breed gouramis. In here, there are gold gouramis, and on the screen, hopefully, I've got one of the little baby gold gouramis, which are not gold when they grow, well, when they start up. When they hatch out of the egg, it takes them a while to get their color. So they're just a brown camouflaged fish, and then they'll get gold as they mature. But yeah, they're doing their thing, very, very easy. The first foods for all of these, I've started with just a, where is it? Hikari First Bites, which I think I said that to everyone in the last video, but that is so easy to feed your fish. It's a powdered food. You just sprinkle it on the surface for gouramis and stuff like that, and they will munch away with it. If you've got other small fry, you can mix a little bit of this with some water, like I did with the brine shrimp deshelled egg things. And you can just drop that near the fry into a little sort of brown, cloudy sort of paste, I suppose. But very, very easy. That is all they've been eating, that stuff. And then after probably a week or two, they're big enough to eat the deshelled brine shrimp. That is it. And you will get a lot of fry survive. Main thing is keeping your water stable, and the more food you put in, more ammonia is produced, and that's going to stress them out. Obviously in a low pH it's not an issue, but in a high pH that's going to screw them big time, especially things like Tanganyikans and that. They are such cool fish. How cool are they? I do want to get more Tanganyikans. At the moment I've just got a whole lot of Malawis down the bottom. Those are my white lips down there, and there's some electric blues just chilling. I know, they're coping with the higher pH. I think we're at about 8.8 at the moment. But yeah, they are there until I move the other tanks around, and they're keeping my filtration going well with the waste they produce. But that is them, that is them. I'm sure there's lots of other things I'm spawning which I've totally forgot about. Got the angelfish, got the hoplos, got all the cichlids. Oh, yes, all the L numbers. I've been slack with the L numbers. Usually I just ignore them and their babies go through into the sump and the flagtails get them, or the hoplos, but the hoplos aren't in the sump anymore, so a few things might survive. I did rescue a whole heap of the longfin bristlenose, and I just missed one of my royal whiptails, unfortunately. So she was filled with eggs, but I've only got 3 girls. I ended up losing the male. And yeah, I think she's absorbed her eggs again. I do have a mate with a male, but it was a bit too late to get the male, condition him and pop him in, and she's absorbed the eggs, but never mind. I do have a whole heap of, what is it, lemon blue eyes, which I've got a colony or 2 of those. So I've got lots of baby ones of those, and I've got some baby super reds. They'll be ready probably in the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks or something. Obviously the angelfish that you saw, and more bristlenose. There's lots of bristlenose everywhere at the moment. I haven't done anything with the corydoras. I know, it's sort of a little bit of a nothing happening in this system. It's just lots of corydoras, and I don't know. I think I just needed a break from saving corydoras eggs, which has been the last year. So I may get back into that. I may ideally move them into some 3-foot tanks and use these tanks for something completely different. I do want to set up a shrimp breeding system as well. Just Neo-Caridina, possibly some Caridina, but yeah, the heat is a problem with Caridina here, but Neos are perfectly fine. Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do with that. Any suggestions? Because these are 12 2-foot tanks on a 6-foot sump. I was going to say 4-foot sump. Mostly just corydoras at the moment, a few gouramis. There's a female gold gourami. There is the female pearl gourami. Obviously the male is in with the eggs, and I have no idea where I've got the male gold gourami. I do not know where I put the male gold gourami. I should probably find him. I'm sure he's in one of those tanks. But yeah, any suggestions on something different to breed in that system, that would be great. I'd have to probably redo it because there are tons of endless live bearers, and there is a heap of stuff living in the sump, from baby corydoras, endless, bristlenose, who knows what's in that sump, yeah. This system is a bit of a mess. It's just a grow out, but my Nicaraguan parrots, some of my gold dust geophagus. What else is in there? There's some really, really nice Bengal dinios at the back, not those little guys, which are some barbs, but some Bengal dinios somewhere at the back. There are, what have we got? Congo tetras, which I need to spawn again, and a whole lot more cichlids. Tons of cichlids in there. Those are the dovies or wolves. And yeah, if you're wondering where all my larger fish are, they are just in all these tanks. And I think our Oscars are about to spawn, so I need to do something about that. Ideally separate them, I think. Argentina cichlids haven't really done much. There is only 2 girls and the rest are boys, so I need to do something about that. I think there's too many fish in this tank, and if you move your tail in the log, my tiger bircher or bircher, depending on where you live, it looks like I've got 2 girls and a boy, so I need to do something about that as well. Tanks down the bottom are a complete mess of really big cichlids, which I need to deal with, so I need to sort them out. There are just cichlids and messy tanks of cichlids. Bigger fish there, yeah. But I think that's sort of where we are. I think these tanks down the bottom, these cichlids are mostly going to go into the tub system that you saw, because there's just lots of super greens, T-bar convicts, a few other random bits and pieces. Central and South American cichlids in there. I think there's some blue eyes. What else have we got in there? Oh, who knows what's in there. There's some very cool fish looking at them now. But yeah, they all need to come out of there. And then these tanks are 4 foot by 3 foot by 2 foot. These will make good spawning tanks for a few other cool fish. So I could spawn bircher in them and a few other different bits and pieces. It's big enough to have a pair of Oscars. So I may spawn a few bigger fish in these and have RO and etc and do that. But that is sort of where we are. I might end it now because yeah, that's a lot of waffling on about boring fish stuff for the people that are not interested, but they wouldn't be watching at this point, would they? So, so all you people that are watching now, congratulations on making it this far. Look at the albino Hoplo catfish. How awesome is that? Yay, I got 2 albinos. If you didn't see my unboxing video, you eat those eggs in there. Look at you just parked there, silly bugger. And I got some albino, oh look how nice they are, emperor tetras. Oh no, they're going through the whole spawning thing too. That's why I've got this spawning mop in here. There is a girl there with eggs. There is a boy, and there is another 8 of them at the back somewhere. I didn't want them to spawn in here, but yeah, my water seems to be good enough that they want to spawn, which is a pain because that's what that tub is for. So once that water's right, spawning mops, some plants, put the females in first and then the males a couple of days later, and then take them out a few days later and hope there's some fry. At least with albino fry, they're easy to see on a black tub. I was going to say brown tub, black tub. But that is about it. Oh, with all those, I am spawning those in tubs as well. If you don't know what those are, green Westbora and assorted longfin albino cherry barbs, etc. Anyway, that is it. There's more things on the screen for you to watch. Hopefully he'll build a bubble nest in the next couple of days, and we will see you in the next fish room. Have fun. See ya.